Welcome to It's Not Just Menopause, the podcast that empowers you to navigate midlife with confidence through real talk, root cause insights, and no BS strategies that actually work. If you're dealing with fatigue, stubborn weight, brain fog, or just feeling off and overlooked, this show is for you. Discover what's really going on with your hormones and why it's not just about estrogen. Each episode breaks down what your doctor didn't explain, the internet got wrong, and what your body's been trying to tell you all along. From stress and metabolism to nervous system support and functional nutrition, we'll cover the tools that help you feel more like yourself, again, without restrictive diets, overwhelming plans, or hormone hype. I'm your host, Cindy Stickle, functional nutrition practitioner and certified menopause specialist. I'm here to guide you through the midlife noise so you can stop guessing, get the clarity you deserve, and finally take back control of your health. If you've ever felt dismissed, overwhelmed, or like your body just isn't responding the way it used to, you're in the right place. Let's rewrite the menopause story without the fluff. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of It's Not Just Menopause. And today we're getting into something that I really don't think gets talked about enough in the perimenopause and menopause space. We talk a lot about what to eat, what supplements to take, how to exercise, what labs to run, but we don't talk much about why none of it seems to stick. And I don't mean in a you need more motivation way. I mean in a very real, very biological, very not your fault kind of way. So today's episode is all about consistency, but more specifically, why you keep losing it and what's actually going on underneath that pattern that no one is addressing, because I promise you, it is not what you think. Okay, I used to think that I had the consistency problem. I'd start something new, I'd feel good about it for a week or two, and then slowly watch it fall apart. And then I'd chalk it up to stress, or being too busy, or just not being disciplined enough. And it turns out I didn't have a consistency problem at all. I had a foundation problem. And that distinction, that changed everything for me. So let me paint you a picture that might sound familiar. It's Monday, you're motivated, you've got your healthy meals planned, you're going to bed earlier, you're taking your supplements, you're moving your body, you feel good. You feel like this is finally the time it's going to click. By Wednesday, life happens, work gets stressful, the kids need something, you don't sleep well, you're exhausted, and you grab whatever's easy. You skip the workout, you tell yourself you'll start fresh on Monday. And then Monday comes and you do it all over again. Sound familiar? And I hear this like all the time. I do really well for 2 weeks and then everything falls apart. I know what to do, I just can't stick with it. Or I start strong and then something always derails me. And here's what I really want you to understand. And I mean really understand this, not just hear it, but like really take it in, that this is not a you problem. It is not a discipline problem. It is not a willpower problem. That it's a biology problem. And it's one that nobody is talking about. And so here's the truth about habits that most of the health and wellness world glosses right over. Before we get back to today's episode, I've got a quick question for you. Feel like your body's in chaos, but your labs are normal? You're not crazy, you're not broken, and you're definitely not alone. If you've been told it's just menopause or to wait it out, it's time for real answers. Take my free quiz, What's Really Driving Your Menopause Symptoms. In under 2 minutes, you'll uncover your top hidden stressor and get my free guide, The Menopause Stress Fix, sent straight to your inbox. Head to cindystickle.com/quiz. or click the link in the show notes. If you're doing everything right, but still feel like a mess, this quiz is your next step. All right, let's get back to today's episode. Habits require a stable foundation to grow on. Think of it like a house, right? Okay, you can have the most beautiful furniture, best design, the nicest finishes, by the top of the line of everything inside the house. But if the foundation underneath is cracked and unstable, nothing stays where you put it. The walls shift, the floors buckle, the whole thing just slowly falls apart, no matter how nice everything looks on the surface. And if you live in Texas, you get this because there's massive foundation problems down here in Texas because of the dirt that we have down here. That's clay, and so if you live in Texas, you get this. Like, you know what it's like when the foundation, your walls start to crack and it starts to lean, right? Well, your nervous system is your foundation. Okay. And for a lot of women in perimenopause and menopause, that foundation is cracked. Not because of anything you did wrong, but because of everything your body is going through. When your nervous system is dysregulated, when your cortisol is all over the place, your blood sugar spiking and crashing, your sleep is disrupted, your body's running in that low-grade stress mode all, day after day after day, your system is in what I call protection mode. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's in fight or flight, meaning that it's protecting you from a threat. It doesn't recognize in today's day, life, that a threat is not an animal like it was thousands of years ago. It's just life, right? And a body that's in protection mode is not interested in building new habits whatsoever. It's just doing its job by focusing on the one thing, and that's surviving, right? It's making sure that you don't die. So every single resource your body has gets directed toward managing the perceived threat. So it shuts down. It doesn't work on your digestion, so you don't get the nutrients you need. It shuts down your immune system. So if you're if you're sick all the time, that's why, because you're in constant fight or flight. It doesn't do anything except make sure your arms and legs are ready to run and fight. Okay. So, and it's helping you get through the day, right? It's managing this perceived threat that's really not there. It's just life, right? But it's just getting you through the day. There is nothing left over for growth, right? It's just barely surviving. There's nothing left over for change. There's barely anything left over for dinner. Like you just are just barely making it through the day. And that's not failure. That's physiology. And it's important that you stop confusing the two. I know it's really easy to. We all do it. So not like I'm finger pointing, okay? But society has a way of making women feel like it's their fault. Or men do, maybe, is more accurate. But now let's talk about what's actually happening in perimenopause that makes this so much harder. Because I think understanding the biology here is going to be a game changer for a lot of you. So when estrogen starts to shift, and it doesn't just drop, it fluctuates, especially in perimenopause. Once you hit menopause, it's gone, right? But it fluctuates, and it's sometimes super wild when it fluctuates. And one of the things that changes is your stress response. I talked about this in last week's episode. We are more susceptible to stress, like we react to it. Our reactivity has increased significantly. So little tiny things that never stress us out now stress us out. And these are not just obvious stressors. It's also hidden stressors. Okay. So estrogen it really plays a role in regulating cortisol. Estrogen is very protective in our body. And as we start to lose it, we see what it used to do for us. And it acts like a buffer. So when estrogen becomes unpredictable, your cortisol becomes way more reactive and stays elevated, right? And that's our stress hormone. So things that would have rolled off your back 5 years ago, now they just totally level you out, right? A hard conversation at work, a bad night's sleep, a skipped meal, things that your body used to handle without missing a beat are now triggering a stress response that takes hours and sometimes days to recover from. And that is not you being dramatic. That is your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do with the tools it currently has. Okay. So on top of that, blood sugar regulation becomes even less stable in perimenopause. The same meals that kept you, steady in your 30s might be sending you on a blood sugar roller coaster right now. And when your blood sugar is unstable, like when you're spiking and crashing throughout the day, your energy is unpredictable. Your mood is unpredictable. Your focus is unpredictable. And the last thing your brain wants to do when it's running on fumes and cortisol is stick to a structured plan. It wants fast energy. It wants comfort. It wants whatever feels safe right now. And then sleep. Oh, we love sleep, right? This one is so important and so underestimated. Sleep disruption in perimenopause isn't just annoying, it's metabolically significant. Poor sleep increases cortisol. It impairs your insulin sensitivity. It affects the hormones that regulate hunger and being full. I can never say that word. So hunger and fullness. So you're hungrier, you're craving like more carbs and sugar, and you have less willpower and decision-making capacity to do anything about it. I know when I very rarely have a bad night's sleep. I'm pretty fortunate, but on those times where I don't get a lot of sleep, I feel like before I was on GLP-1, I felt like I was constantly hungry all day long because my body was craving the energy that I didn't get when I slept. So you just have to be really aware of it. Okay. After GLP-1, I have not noticed that hardly ever. But before I was like constantly hungry because your body's like, hey, you didn't sleep, so I need that energy, right? And then you're essentially fighting all three of these things at once, right? The willpower, decision-making, and then the cravings. And then we turn around and tell ourselves that we just need more discipline. No, what you need is a completely different starting point. Okay, so here's what I've seen work, not just in theory, but with real women who came to me exhausted and frustrated after years of starting over or just like beating themselves up that they couldn't stick to a plan, right? Real consistency in perimenopause doesn't start with habits. It starts with stability. Like I said before, if your body doesn't have that foundation, that you can do all the new habits you want, they're not going to stick. So blood sugar stability, cortisol rhythm, a nervous system that isn't running in fight or flight all day long or day after day after day. And when those three things are in place, when your body finally feels safe, habits stop being something you white knuckle your way through, they start to feel almost natural, almost automatic. Not because you found some magical motivation, but because you stopped fighting your own biology. And this is exactly why the very first phase of everything I do with my clients is regulate. Not overhaul your diet, not start a new workout program, not take these supplements, regulate. Because I have seen it over and over again. You can give a woman the most well-designed nutrition plan in the world, but if her nervous system is dysregulated, if her cortisol rhythm is chaotic, if her blood sugar is unstable, that plan is going to fall apart every single time. Not because the plan is bad, but because she's not trying hard enough, right? She's trying. It's because those foundations haven't been set yet. You cannot build lasting change on a system that doesn't feel safe. I'm going to say that again because I really want it to land with you. You cannot build lasting change on a system that doesn't feel safe. And the problem is a lot of people, women, don't realize that their body doesn't feel safe, right? It's something that I help explain to them when I talk to them because they just think it's them and everything else, right? But this is the missing piece. This is what nobody's told you. This is why you've been stuck in that starting over loop. Because not because you're undisciplined, but because you've been skipping the most important step. So what does actually building the foundation look like? Because I don't want to just leave you with the problem, right? I want to give you something real to work with. So, and here's the thing. It's usually a lot less dramatic than people think. Okay. It's Occam's razor. It's usually the simplest solution, right? The habits that actually stick in perimenopause are boring. And I say that lovingly. They are small. They are repetitive. They are unglamorous things that don't make for good Instagram content, right? But they work. Things like eating a protein-forward breakfast within an hour of waking up. Not because breakfast is magic, but because it tells your blood sugar and your cortisol, hey, we have fuel, we don't need to panic, and it sets the tone for the entire day hormonally, okay? Helps your cortisol drop like it's supposed to. Things like a simple wind down in the evening that signals your nervous system that it's safe to shift out of go mode, right? Not a complicated routine, not an hour of journaling and meditation, unless you want to, but you don't have to. It's just something consistent, something that your body starts to recognize as a cue that it's okay to rest. Like going and just starting to read, because that's calming down, right? You're not on screens, okay? I know reading at night tends to make me fall asleep, so it must work. Things like a short morning reset before the chaos of the day takes over, okay? Before the emails, before the to-do list, before everyone else's needs land on you. Just a few minutes that are yours, that anchor your nervous system before it has a chance to go into reactive mode. Okay, none of these things are revolutionary, but that's the point, okay? And your body in perimenopause is desperately craving predictability. It has been in an unpredictable hormonal environment for months, maybe even years. And even when you give it consistent, reliable inputs, like the same breakfast, same morning rhythm, same wind down, right? It starts to feel safe. And a body that feels safe is a body that can finally start to change, meaning it lets go of the fat in the belly, right? And this isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about changing the quality of the plate you're already working from, right? So let me close with this because I think it's like the most important thing I'm going to be saying today. If your good habits keep falling apart, stop blaming yourself. Seriously, stop. It's not you, okay? You are not undisciplined. You are not lazy. You are not someone who just can't stick with things. You are a woman in perimenopause or menopause whose biology has changed significantly, who is trying to use the same tools that worked a decade ago on a body that has completely different needs now. The answer to your consistency problem is not more willpower. It's not a stricter plan or a harder workout or yet another 30-day reset. No, we don't want those. The answer is a better foundation. And the good news, the foundation is absolutely buildable. I've watched women build it, women who felt just as stuck as you might feel right now, women who have tried everything and were ready to give up. And once a foundation was in place, once their nervous system had some stability, once their blood sugar was regulated, once their cortisol had a rhythm again, the habits they had been working, white knuckling for years start to actually feel easy. Okay? So not because they changed, but because their body finally felt safe enough to let them. And so if you're looking for a place to start like that, I created the Perimenopause Morning Reset. It's free. And it's exactly going to get you started like what I just talked about. Okay, it walks you through simple morning routine designed to help you regulate your nervous system and stabilize your blood sugar before your day even gets going. Not complicated, not time consuming. It's a foundation builder. There are 5 things on it and you don't have to do all 5. You just pick one you want to do. And there literally just takes a few minutes, okay? So what you're going to do is there's a link in the show notes to download it. So thanks again for being here today. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend who really needs to hear it, because I do promise you she's out there starting over on a Monday somewhere and wondering what's wrong with her. And nothing is wrong with her. She just needs a better foundation. Okay? Thanks for listening, and I will be in your headphones next week. Thank you for tuning into It's Not Just Menopause. I hope today's episode gave you real clarity about what's actually going on in your body and reminded you that it's not just your hormones and it's definitely not your fault. If you found value in this conversation, make sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Cindy Stickle Nutrition or head to cindystickle.com for more resources and personalized support on your menopause and midlife health journey. Until next time, keep questioning what you've been told and trust that your body is not broken. You just need the truth and the tools that actually work.